Hello guys, welcome to my channel Chem Insider. So in today's class we are going to discuss about the second topic from chapter of classification of elements and periodicity in properties. So in this chapter, before explaining certain elemental things, first let us just revise about the previous video where we had discussed about certain periodic table constructions used by certain different scientists, like for example Daubenard, Newlands, Mendeleev, and then Movers, etc. So for the several scientists, once they have discussed about the naming system, there were kind of a complications when new elements were discovered. Like for example, for atomic number of element with 104, two different scientists, one from America and one from Soviet Union, proposed that they were the first to discover the particular element and they given a particular name for them. That is because usually what happened is whenever you discover a new element, and those particular element was named after the person who discovered it or the place where it was discovered. Like for example copper, it was discovered in a certain areas of a Latin area, and then we called it as cuprium. Okay, like for example radium, it was discovered by Marie Curie. She named it radium. Like polonium, certain different scientists discovered it in Poland. So therefore we called it as polonium. So whenever there was a certain new discovery of an element, there was completely a controversy between the scientists who were able to explain these names. So similarly in case of 104, atomic number 104, there were a condition where two different scientists of two different countries claimed to determine or discover that element first. For the Soviet Union people or Soviet Union scientists named that particular element as kryptonium. Soviet Union scientists named the atomic number of element 104 as kryptonium, whereas the American scientists named that element as Rutherfordium. So now, in order to avoid those critical controversies and complications while discovering a particular element or naming a particular element which is discovered recently, IUPAC, that is International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, which is a joint complete scientist union, which will name after certain elements or compounds. So they said that we need to follow certain amount of rules in order to name a particular atom. Before it is completely discovered, before it is completely read with all of its property, so like if I say I am discovering an atomic of 119, atomic number of 119, first the particular atomic number of 119 element will be given a particular name according to IUPAC rule. Later, and that particular name, particular element will be given a name according to certain counselors of IUPAC and the combined exception. Like for example, in case of atomic number 105, the element is called with certain rules as such as like nil pentium, which was later called as dobenium by several scientists according to IUPAC rules. So first let us discuss about how to name a new element whose properties are yet to be known completely. Let us say we have come across an element with atomic number 105. So it has to be given a particular root word from 0 to 9. So if it has 105, we have to use the root words of 1, 0 and 5 respectively and end it with IUM, and it has to be ended with IUM. Like for example, if you consider this for particular atomic number of 105, we have certain digits from 0 to 9 with the respective name and abbreviations. So here with atomic number 0, so it starts with, if it has 0, it is called nil and given a symbol abbreviation as N. If it has 1, uno, symbol U, such as like this. Now for the atomic number 105, if we write the name according to IUPAC rule, what happens is for 1 we have uno, the name will be uno. Next for 0 we have nil, uno, nil. Okay. Next for 5 we have pent, uno, nil, pent, and it has to end with IUM. So this is uno, nil, pentum. Okay. So this is uno, nil, pentum. So this uno, nil, pentum has symbol UNP. UNP. Okay, symbol for this atomic number of 105 is UNP. So once this atomic number was discovered, it was named according to IUPAC rule of UNP. Once the complete property of this element was found, it was given the name Dobunium with the symbol Db. Okay, it was given the proper name of Dobunium with the symbol Db. Similarly, for the atomic number 110, if you name it, it start with 1, that is uno. Again 1, uno, un. If it has double N, uno, un. For 0, we have nil. Uno, un, nil. Uno, un, nillium. So this will be named as uno, un, nillium. So this with symbol UN. So this will be of the symbol UUN. So this was the initial name given according to IUPAC rule. Next, for the proper name, it was given as Dobberstadium with the symbol DS. Dobberstadium with the symbol DS. Okay. Now, if you have come across certain elements, like in the periodic table, we have 118 elements, out of which the atomic number of 113, 117, 118 have yet to be given a proper name, and those now at this particular moment are named according to the IUPAC rules itself. So for atomic number 113, we don't have a proper name with a particular scientist or a place of origin. So 113 is called as Uno Un Tritium. Uno Un Trium. Uno Un Trium with the symbol UUT. Okay. So this is for the atomic number of 113. So this is how we name across certain discovered elements, new elements which were discovered recently, with across two rules. One is first, which once they have been discovered, they will be given name according to the digits and the root word with the proper abbreviation. Once the complete properties and reactions of that complete metal or element is discovered or known, then it will be given the name with respect to the person who discovered it or the place at which it was discovered. Okay, and that particular naming culture has to be agreed with several other scientists in a voting in the IUPAC system. Okay, so this is about the naming of a new element in a periodic table. So next we'll discuss about electronic configuration in a periodic table. Okay, next we'll discuss about electronic configuration in periodic table. So writing an electronic configuration, we have discussed this in the previous chapter of structure of atom in the last topic. So we know electronic configuration of an element depends upon 4 quantum numbers. Okay, 4 quantum numbers, or we should say rather 3 quantum numbers for primary. So those are principal quantum number, azimuthal quantum number, and then come across the spin quantum number. Okay, now whenever you have to write down the electronic configuration for a given element, the periodic table can be given different set of electronic configuration depend upon its classes. Like if you have to give it according to the periods and of the groups, that is one type of classification. Next, you can give the electronic configuration depending upon each of the block elements which they are present, and you can specially give the electronic configuration for particular element. Now first for electronic configuration, first we will discuss about giving an electronic configuration. Electronic configuration in the primary 2 cases, that is along the groups, so along the period configuration. First is period wise, second one is group wise. So electronic configuration for elements in the periodic table can be given in the period wise, and the main first classification of period wise or group wise. So what is period wise and group wise electronic configuration? If you have understood in the previous videos of structure of atom chapter, I said there are 7 periods of each periodic table, that is from starting with the asymmetric principal quantum number n is equal to 1 to n is equal to 7. Okay, so each of the periodic table, each of the periods in a periodic table will be associated with a respective principal quantum number. Okay, each of the period present in the periodic table will be associated with respective principal quantum number and respective azimuthal quantum number also, defining its orbitals, where this principal quantum number gives the energy of the shell. Okay, principal quantum number is nothing but the shell values. For n is equal to 1 we have k shell. For n is equal to 1 we have k shell. For n is equal to 2 we have L shell. N is equal to 3 we have M. N is equal to 4 we have N. And similarly so on will go across the different shells present. Now whenever you come across different shells, we have to know about the exact amount of orbitals present in it, right? For now k shell with n is equal to 1, it has twice its orbital in the formula of 2n. Okay, it has 2n amount of orbitals, n square. It has n square of orbitals. So k shell has one orbital. That orbital is found to be 1s, right? K shell has one orbital, so 1 square is 1s. Next for L shell, it has 2, therefore n square will be giving us 4 orbitals. N square will be giving us 4 orbitals. Those orbitals are 2s, 1 2s orbital, and 3 2p orbitals, 2px, 2py and 2pz. Okay, 2px, 2py and 2pz. Those are the 4 orbitals. And next for M shell, we have n square as m square, we have n square as 9, so it will be carrying us 9 orbitals. Those are 3s and 3p orbitals and 5 d orbitals. So total it has 9 orbitals present in it. For n is equal to 4, we have n square with 16, n square as 16. So here if you consider 3s, 3p with 3 orbitals, 3px, 3py, 3pz. Similarly 3d has 5 different orbitals. Those are dx square, dy square, dz square, dxy, dyz, dzx, and dx square minus y square and dz square. Okay, next for n4 we have 16. Similarly for 4s, 3 of 4p, 5 of 4d and 10 of 4f orbit, 7 of 4f orbitals. Okay, so this is about the different orbitals which will be representing a amount of periods. Now if you consider a periodic table, okay, if you observe the periodic table appearing over here, so we have 4 blocks S, P, D and F. S orbital are nothing but the S block elements which will be on the left hand corner of the periodic table. D block element will be on the right middle between S and P. P will be on the rightmost side, where the D will be sandwiched between S and P. And next we have F block, that is at the bottom. So whenever you consider these periods of the element table, so let us consider the first one, n is equal to 1. For n is equal to 1, if you observe there, we start with hydrogen which has atomic number 1, so electrons will be of 1s1. Next for helium, it has 1s2. If you observe here carefully, for a period n has only 2 elements because it has 2 orbitals. So first orbital take 1 electron, the second orbital takes 2 electrons. So therefore the electronic configuration of hydrogen will be 1s1 and that of for helium will be 1s2. That is, hydrogen gives us 1s1, helium gives us 1s2. Okay, so next if you consider the third electron which is entering, that is for lithium with atomic number 3, it enters the second shell of 2s1. Okay, it enters the orbital of second shell, that is 2s1. Therefore we write lithium in the second group of L because its the highest principal quantum number is 2. Okay, for hydrogen and helium the higher principal quantum number value for them are n is equal to 1, but for lithium the highest principal quantum number which is obtained is 2. Therefore it will be written in the second period. Okay, similarly whenever you consider elements with increasing number of atomic number, and if you are writing electrons filled in it, what happens is the highest n is value, like for example if you come across with potassium, so if you come across with sodium, it has 1 electron in 3s1 orbital, that is of the next period. Okay, so elements are arranged according to the periodic configuration. So how to write a periodic configuration? For a periodic configuration of n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Periodic configuration of n is equal to 1 period. For the n is equal to 1 period, we have electronic configuration given as 1s1 to 2. it has electronic configuration 1s 1 to 2. It has either 1 or 2 in the first period. Next, for n is equal to 2, we have electronic configuration 1s2. It is completed now. Now for the second orbital, we have starting with 1s 1 to 2, and then we have 2p 1 to 6. Okay, 2p 1 to 6. Like for example, lithium has 2s1, beryllium has 2s2, boron has 1s2, 2s2, 2p1, carbon has 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. Next, nitrogen has 2p3, oxygen 2p4, halogens 2p5, and then we come across neon with 2p6. Okay, so now ns2 starts from lithium with atomic number 3 and with neon ends at atomic number 10, neon atomic number 10. Okay, next for period n is equal to 3, we start with 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. These are completely filled now. Now the next electron will be entering the next period, that is nothing but the next shell of 3s1 to 2 and 3p1 to 6. Okay, so that means it starts from sodium with atomic number 11 and ends with argon atomic number 18. Okay, so this is about the third period. Next, for the period n is equal to 4, here we have a certain distinction between the orbitals being filled. What happens here is we have a change in configuration, that is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6. This is a completely filled for argon up to there. And next we have 4s2 and 4s1 to 2, and we have 3d1 to 10, and also we have 4p1 to 6. This is because we have discussed in the earlier cases of n plus L rule. So 3d will come after 4s, therefore we have an additional 3d orbital in the n is equal to 4 period. Okay, so therefore when you consider for n is equal to 1 period, it has 2 elements. N is equal to 2 period, it has 8 elements. N is equal to 3 has 8 elements, but n is equal to 4 has 18 elements. The period of n is equal to 4 has got 18 elements. Okay, similarly for n is equal to 5, we have 4s2, 3d10, 4p6. 4s2, 3d10, 4p6. Next we'll come across 5s2, 5s1 to 2, 4d1 to 10, and 5p1 to 6. Okay, so therefore n is equal to 5 period, it also contains 18 elements. Okay, next for n is equal to 6 and n is equal to 7, n is equal to 6 and n is equal to 7, we have additional concept over here. For this, it completely filled with 5s2, 4d10 and 5p6. Later comes the electronic configuration 6s1 to 2, and then we have 4f1 to 14, 5d1 to 10 and 6p1 to 6, which gives us n is equal to 6 will carry 32 elements, and similarly n is equal to 7 will carry 32 elements. So if we observe the periodic table now, the n is equal to 6, that is the 6th period and 7th period, will also have a similar of 18 elements present in it. Since we don't have to change the complete structure of the periodic table, what we have did is those elements which have electrons entering the f orbitals, those are lanthanoids and actinoids, starting from cerium to lutetium and actinium to the last element. What we observe is those two are placed below the periodic table, because if you put those two in the last two rows, what happens is the complete structure of the periodic table will be dislocated completely. Therefore, in order to maintain the structure of the periodic table properly, in order to explain the properties in a clear manner, we have placed the lanthanoids, that is of the 4f series, and actinoid of 5f series separately at the bottom, and those are called as the inner transition elements. Okay, so this is how you write the periodic electronic configuration of elements in period wise. Next, for the group wise electronic configuration, so group wise electronic configuration is nothing but the outermost electronic configuration of each element present in the columns. If you observe the periodic table here, we have groups from group 1 to group 18. Okay, we have elements from group 1 to group 18. Each of the group will have similar outermost electronic configuration. Like for example, if you consider the first group, that is S1 block elements, hydrogen has 1s1 outermost electronic configuration, lithium has 1s2 2s1, sodium has 1s2 2s2 2p6 3s1, potassium has 1s2 2s2 2p6 3s2 3p6 4s1. So all these elements in the same column will be ending with 1 electron in its s orbital. Therefore, those all will be considered as a single group elements with the same outermost electronic configuration. Next, again, for if you consider for beryllium with atomic number 4 has 1s2 2s2, 2 electrons in s orbital. Similarly, magnesium has 3s2, that means 2 electrons in 3s orbital, and potassium has 2 electrons in 4s orbital. So therefore, those three again are considered, those complete column will be considered as similar group of atom. Okay. Next, if we consider for the last most penultimate of helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, all those elements will be having electronic configuration of ns2 np6. So helium has s2, except for helium, all other like neon, argon, krypton, xenon has 6 electrons in its respective periodic p block. Okay, its respective periodic p condition. So it has 6 electrons each in it. And this, in case of the previous column of 17th group, we have halogens each requiring 1 electron to complete its electronic configuration of ns2 and p6. So therefore, this is how we classify group wise electronic configuration. Each of the group wise electronic configuration carries a particular outermost electrons in its particular outermost electronic orbital. Okay, so this is all about the electronic configuration and nomenclature. In the next class, we discuss about electronic configuration for S block, P block, D block and F block separately. Okay, so this is all about for today. If you have any doubts regarding the concepts explained, please do comment down below, and thank you for watching.